Faith podcast, where we're not just trying to win on the court or the field,
but we're trying to win souls.
If you're an athlete, former athlete, coach, or consider yourself a follower of Christ, you came to the right place. And if you love sports but don't know Jesus, or you're not really active in your faith, don't stop listening.
This podcast is meant to be fruitful, and we want everyone to eat. It has no limitations on who can listen, so even if you aren't an athlete competing to win games, we want you all to be winning in Christ. Yo, what's good? What's up, y'all? We back with another episode. This your girl, Ja.
And I'm Janae.
And today we're going to be talking about God first. I often see that term, God first, in a lot of people's bios on social media. And now that I actually been walking out and putting God first, it kind of has more significance than when I used to see it before. And just being a student athlete, especially in college, it's hard to be putting God first. And so we're just going to talk about that today, because this is a little conversation we had yesterday, and we just were like, man, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about the truth about putting God first and how hard it is to be a student athlete and put God first. So first of all, the term student athlete, it's already hard to be a student first.
Right.
And let's keep it real. Sometimes student is not for a lot of universities.
Right.
And so just putting faith on top of that, that's even harder, because that's not, it's reality, but not for a lot of people. And you get consumed with your life, you get consumed with school, you get consumed with sports, that if somebody tell you, you gotta be like, yeah, I need a break, I need to go, have a conversation with God. People are like,
right.
No, you don't.
Right.
You better go do your work, you better go do some this and that. And so we're just gonna hit on that. And yeah, Janae, let's just first talk about your talk, how this conversation got brought up. And talk about how you said it was hard for you,
right,
in your journey. And yeah, let's just go from there.
Yeah, so this kind of just stems back from all the way when I was little, because people always ask you what's first in your life, or even now what do you prioritize in your life, and my answer is always God, family, school, basketball, and then the rest that follows. And in my daily life, it's easy. I've been able to put God first, but going up to college, it's kind of been hard for me, and something that I struggle with, because I feel in my heart, and I know what's true to me, yes, I put God first, but being in a college setting, Division I basketball, it's hard because it's out of your control. So, so to me, it oftentimes seems like it's basketball, school, and then they leave time for God.
Yeah.
I don't have time. I'm in the gym. I'm not complaining. I know what I got myself into,
right,
committing to a D1 school,
it's reality,
and going
though.
there.
It's
yeah.
reality.
And so it's just it's something I struggle with, because I want to put God first, but I feel I can't. I feel I have to put basketball first, because at the end of the day, that's why I'm kind of at that school. That's why I was able to go to that school, because I'm on a basketball scholarship. So I owe that to them. And then it's you're in the gym 8 hours a day straight, and then right after that, you might be tired, but now it's school time. You got to do your schoolwork. You got to stay on top of that, because without school, then you can't even play. So then it's okay, I went to class, I had practice, film, workouts, recovery, all of that. Then afterwards, I have to go and do all my schoolwork and make sure I'm staying on top of that. And by the end of the day, you're just dead. You're dead. You don't have any type of energy left, and it's just dang, now this is the only amount of time I have for God, but now I'm tired. So even when I do get my time to God, it's I'm going through the motions with it, because I'm tired,
Yeah.
And it's just something that I really struggle with, because I feel like I'm letting God down in a way, because I can't prioritize Him the way I want to, the way your college schedule is built up.
Yeah, that's good. And thank you for just keeping it real with you, because that's one thing we do on this podcast. We keep it real. I was thinking today while we were driving around, I was like, man, if there was another name I was gonna have on this podcast, it would have been the truth, because the Bible is the truth. What we're speaking is the truth, and we're just gonna keep it real, because that's reality. You're not the only believer that has trouble prioritizing God. And so I think when I was in college, we're fortunate to play in a SoCon, so we have Sundays off, they're in conference play, so we're able to go to church. But what about people that are in SEC play or some of these bigger conferences that don't get to go to church on Sundays? And that's just, I mean, like, you don't necessarily have to go to church, but that's just something that I'm just thinking about. And then it's like, I believe that a lot of teams, like Georgia is fortunate to have Bible studies with their teams and stuff like that. And I know we do it a little bit with Furman, but I mean, even then, it's hard to fit it into those schedules, right? Because, you know, they're tired. And it's like, yeah, you make time for what's important. And I know, I strongly believe that. But man, I feel like we're making time after we done did everything else.
Right.
Like, it's not like, oh, this is the first thing that I gotta do this.
Right.
No, I gotta go to practice. No, I gotta go to class. It's not that level of I gotta go talk to God right now, or I gotta go dive into His Word and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, like, it's a grind. So you could wake up in the morning and have your time with Him and this, that, and the third. And I'll be honest that that's not something I did in college because I chose sleep. Like, I barely got time to sleep.
Right.
And after practice, I didn't have enough energy for God. That's something I probably, you know, maybe if you did start your day off, I probably would have had more energy towards it and stuff like that. But I just think that there's more time and intentionality that can be spent if we were able to prioritize God more. And if people just had the opportunity, because a lot of people just don't have the opportunity. What about the people that don't know God yet? And so, like, they're just consumed by the sport. Like, they don't even have time to slow down and think about God because they're just so consumed with the reality of sports and school. And so, there's a Bible verse that says, Proverbs 3:6, it says, "Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take." And another way it says, in all your ways, acknowledge Him with every step you take. Think about what He wants, and He'll help you go the right way. So, my suggestion to all of that is, like, even if you can't necessarily, like, put God first when you first wake up because you're tired, or maybe you just don't have the time for Him or something like that, like, use those small moments in practice to acknowledge Him. Use those small moments in class, like, dead serious in the game. Like, don't be afraid to acknowledge Him and include Him in it, and just, like, thinking of Him first. Because I'll be honest, when I was playing, sometimes I didn't know which way to pass the ball. So I'm like, God, tell me which way to start the play. Tell me which way. And it's funny, but, like, I include Him first so He can tell me what steps to take and go down the right path. And so, like, just find new creative ways to include Him. And it, like, necessarily, yes, prioritize and put Him first, but just, like, acknowledge Him. Even if it's hard, you know, to put Him first, acknowledge Him.
Can you read that verse one more time again?
Yeah, so it's seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take.
Right. So, and that's another way this conversation kind of stemmed, is because I was seeking God so that He can show me a way in a type of decision that I'm facing right now. And so, in the place that I'm at right now, like, you know, we're off. We have a break off right now, so we're away from school, and we don't have to worry about all that. We're kind of on our own schedules of working out and doing all that type of stuff. So I've been able to sit back and just be still in God's presence.
Yeah,
like, I've been able to wake up in the morning and pray and just devote an hour of my time first thing in the morning to God. So I've been able to pray to Him in the morning. I've been able to journal, and I've just been able to reflect and really be still in other moments and just worship God and just, like I said, be still and allow God to speak to me. And I've been getting responses from God. Like, I've been hearing Him loud and clear, and it's been consistently and daily that He's just been whispering small stuff in my ear here and there. But I feel like that's an advantage of being able to be away from school and, you know, having this type of time off, because, or if I was at school, I'm gonna be on the go 24/7. I'm gonna be surrounded by all my teammates and just people at school. It's like it's hard to hear from God. One, when there's so much going on, and two, when you have so many other people, you know, speaking to you daily. You haven't set any time aside for God, and so I don't know.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's a very stronger point of what I was trying to say. So, like, and I'm glad you use advantage. it's an advantage to spend more time with God, but we think it's a disadvantage because we're taking control, like we're losing control, but we're giving him more control. So it's like the more we step back, the more he steps forward.
Exactly.
Like, and so as an athlete, as a student athlete, you don't have that much time to do that. We barely have time to eat.
Exactly.
Like, let's keep it real. But like, I believe that if you spend more, if we could prioritize our time with God more and spend more time with him, he could do more in our lives. But this culture and society, and I believe it's the enemy, how fast our life is just sped up and it's constantly got us going and going. Like, you think being on the grind is going to get you to your destiny, to your dream? No.
Right.
Sometimes being still and just sitting there.
Right.
Like, we were talking about with Mommy the other day. She was like, well, I just, faith without works is dead. And sometimes I know I got to get to it. No, sometimes you got to let him get to it. And sometimes, like,
just sit back and relax.
Your works is sometimes just chilling out, bro. Like, we have that privilege to just chill sometimes and just be in his presence. But how many times can we do that with our schedules?
Exactly.
Like, let's keep it real.
Exactly.
And so, and I'm so glad for the people that have like FCA and AIA, because they include those Bible studies and stuff like that, and they try to do it. But even then, I know it's hard to have those meetings on campus with them. And then, like, a lot of schools don't have those organizations. And so I hope it can continue to grow and they can just change the culture. But man, spending time with God is important. Like you said it, the more this time that you done had away, you've been able to seek him and find him. And so, like, imagine if other people could just do that, like, in their season.
Right.
And it might sound crazy, but I mean, it's real.
Right.
And so I got a couple other Bible verses, and it talks about like rest. And I want to get Steph on, because me and Steph kind of had a conversation about this, about the 80-20 thing. We're gonna have an 80-20 part 2 thing or whatever. But there's in Exodus, it talks about like the 10 commandments or whatever needs rest. And then in Matthew, there's I'll go to Mark. In Mark it says, the day of rest, a holy day, was made for people, not for the day of rest. Mark 2:27. And so when I first read that, I'm like, dang, that's kind of real. And so, like, because back then they were like, Jesus, you can't do nothing on Sabbath day. Like, bro, he out here healing people. Like, I mean, that's pretty important. And so it's not like, this is my idea. I think that sports should have a Sabbath day. I think they should have a day where they don't have to do nothing.
Right.
And it's not, because, like, look at this. What was the guy, Mom was telling us about, the guy that prays, what was his religion? He prays every day at lunch.
Oh, for Ramadan.
Ramadan. So, like, stuff like that. Like, he's excused from class because he can go pray and that's religious. Okay, if I need a Sabbath day, can I get that right now in the sports world?
No.
Hey, yo.
No.
Hey, yo, coach, I need a Sabbath day. Like, I just need to spend more time with God because I'm not there yet. And let's talk about it. Mental illness is real.
They say they advocated for it, but are you really, like, what are you doing for it? Like, the NCAA doesn't have anything to show for it, and it's just like, dang, like, this is why athletes are scared to speak up, because they don't know what's going to happen to their playing time, or, or their relationships with their coach, because they feel like that this is something they can't even speak up about. But, like, this is what we need. Like, this is what we need. Religion is a big thing, and it's so many athletes that exercise their faith loud and clear, but it's like we can't even be vulnerable enough to, like, express how we really feel about it. Like, I don't know, I don't see people saying, hey, can I get a Sabbath day, because they know what the answer's going to be.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not on the calendars, but it's biblical though. Right. Like, I should be able to I can back this up with facts, because it's in the Bible. Right. People need to Ramadan, they need to pray. They excuse, right? I believe we need to incorporate that in the sports world. And I'm going to be pushing for it as much as I work for this sports ministry, and I'm working with athletes and stuff like that, and I'm walking with God. I'm pushing for it, because we've got to change the culture for this. And also, I just think mental illness is real, and when players are struggling and they're not mentally in the right state of mind, like, you're spiritual. Think how much stuff spiritually that can cure a lot of problems. That can make you a way better athlete. You're going to find freedom, more peace. You're going to know more about God. You're going to know more about who you are, your worth. You're going to believe the truth rather than your mistakes. It's just so much that can happen when you get closer to God.
Right.
Like, think how much we keep getting closer, and the more freedom and more peace we have. The more wiser we are. You know what I mean? So like it's just so important to spend time with God, and I'm pushing for it. And the thing about it is, on the Sabbath day when Jesus was doing it, he was like trying to tell them that it's not a law that, I mean, it's a law, but you don't have to. It's not a thing like if you don't have a Sabbath day, you're going to hell.
Right.
And that's not what I'm saying with this. I'm saying that this is supposed to help us.
You're right. Right.
So like, let's do stuff that's gonna help me spiritually, because that's the ultimate. That's the important thing. I know a lot of the wins and all that. That's important. But man, are you gonna get to heaven? Are these sports consuming people so much that they're missing out on blessings here on earth and on heaven?
Exactly.
Like that's real right there, man. And so I'm pushing for it, and it don't gotta be on a Sunday. It could be any day, like just a day for people. And I'm not playing around with this. I'm not saying like this is a day for people to, and even for the athletes. If we did incorporate Sabbath day, and maybe you can do it on your off day or whatever.
Right.
Don't go spend time on social media and stuff like that. Like take advantage of that day you have the day off and spend time with Him.
If that's all that you get, go after it fully and give it all to God. Like it may be all that you get, so just give it all to Him. And I'm telling you, it's just gonna produce so much more in your life and just fill you up so much more, even if it's just one day.
Right. Yeah. That one day could be crucial.
Right.
We know y'all work more than 6 days a week, so it's like back to back to back. But yeah, just take advantage of whatever time you have off, and let God fill you up, because that's the only thing that's gonna actually fill you up.
Yeah, that's gonna keep you going.
Yeah.
And give you the energy that you really need.
Yeah.
So I just really want to encourage y'all for real, like, even if the amount of days that you get off, for the amount of time you're spending on the field, in the court, or whatever, remember what you prioritize. If you say God first, truly put Him first. You know, take every moment that you get to put Him first, to remind yourself of Him and His goodness and what He's doing for you. And don't forget to give Him all the glory and praise that He deserves for it all.
That's good. Putting God first will set you up for whatever else in life. Like that's the foundation, and it just builds. So really walk it out. If you saying God first, especially if you got that in your bio, live it out.
That's what I'm saying.
Walk it like you talking.
And I want to mention also, like, another thing that kind of gets to me is, like, people be so quick to say after they win an award or something, they get up on that big stage and they're like, I just want to thank God first. Like, and I just be like, wait, hold up. Like, you thanking God first, but I didn't even know you was a Christian. Like, I didn't even see you living that out, your whole athletic career. And like, now it's just like, now you're thanking God. So it's just like, the people who are saying that, it's like, are you really putting God first? And like, if you are, it should show on the outside.
Yeah, and that's so good, Janae. It's funny, but it's real.
Right.
A lot of people just be out here thanking God just to thank Him. I mean, good job for thanking Him for keeping you alive, but y'all don't got no relationship with that man.
Exactly.
Let's keep it a band. And we know, because we've been in that situation where we believed in God, but we ain't have no relationship.
Exactly.
So we're telling y'all not just because like y'all doing it. No, we experienced it. Like, it's different. There's a difference when you have a relationship with Him and when you just believe in God. You know what I mean? Because it says in the Bible that, like, as Christians, you're supposed to be different. You're a Christ follower.
Right.
So like, your life doesn't look the same as other people. And so if you out here really a believer and you have faith in God, your life should look different. There should be something different about you.
And for example, Stephen Curry, like, he's my favorite player, and I really just give it all to him because, like, he could say, I thank God first, and everybody will know, like, he truly means that. Every shot that he makes, he goes like this, and he's giving it back to God. He's saying, thank you, God, for just giving me this ability or allowing me to score that bucket. He has scriptures written on his own shoe. So whether you Christian or not, but you buying them shoes, you walking with Christ every game. Like, you got Christ with you on the court every single game, and I just really love that about him. And another one, like Tim Tebow, for example, he always at the end of the field, down on his knees, like, being so public with his relationship with God, and I just really love that about him.
Another thing is, there's not a wrong way to be a Christian, but there are things in the Bible that it tells you to do, and that it's like, really, if you're a believer in God and you're a Christian, Christ follower, you're supposed to always be realigning yourself to the Bible. Like, am I doing this? Am I doing that? So it's giving you the steps and the stuff to take. And so, like, when people tell me they're a believer, I can tell right away because I'm like, oh yeah, they doing that.
Right.
Like they got somebody leading them, they got somebody discipling them. They're discipling somebody. Their joy and peace is different when they hit a circumstance. Like it's just like I can tell right away, and it's crazy. It's genuine. It's real. Whereas to before, like I just thought everybody they said they believe in God. I was like, yeah, because I was one of them people. I said I believed in God, but I didn't really believe in Him because I didn't know who He was.
Right.
Like I told you earlier, I didn't know what He was saying. And so, like, and I was talking to one person another time, and they're like, yeah, I believe in God, but everybody don't got to know. I don't got to broadcast and stuff like that.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
You do.
You don't maybe got to be like, yeah, I'm a Christian.
Yeah, you don't got to do that.
That's
like,
not what it is.
Your works will show for itself. Your appearance, like, what God is doing in the inside of you and your heart, is going to reflect on the outside, for real.
Yeah. And I say to that, it's more than just being a good person. I was talking to one of my friends, and I told him, like, yeah, you're a good person, but your heart isn't aligned with Jesus. That's why you can love on people that you love, but you can't love their enemies yet.
Right.
And you can love people, but you're quick to be angry, and you're short of patience. If your heart was aligned with Jesus, then you would have more patience. You would be more kind to people that you didn't like. That's the heart of Jesus. It's more than just being a good person. And it's a Bible verse somewhere that says, like, what good does it do to love your own people, you know?
Right.
And then there's another one that
everybody could do that.
Yeah, everybody could do that. Matthew 5:14, you are a light for the world. A city cannot be hidden when it is located on a hill. That's God. This is on the big title of the chapter in Mark 5. It starts in verse 13, but it says, God's people make a difference in the world. Do you hear? Like that's the title of it. So if you're really putting God first, you should be making a difference in the world.
Right.
There should be something, whether you're on your team, your encouragement looks different, and your peace, your joy, the way you talk to people, the way you don't indulge in gossip, like it should be like there's some things that you just don't do with the people that are non-believers. And I'm not saying like don't hang out with them. I'm just saying like there should be a separation. There should be something different. Right. And so Janae, I want to actually challenge you this year because I'm always on you about it. But like, you should dive in something to this year when you go back to school, and let it be different. Like, there's just something different. There's something different that Janae brings to this team. Like whatever it is, the joy, whatever, it might be more peace, it might be more kindness, more patience, especially as a point guard. I wish I would have had more patience as a point guard. Cause I saw, I ain't know Jesus back then. Cause I would be so mad. If somebody did not catch my pass, I was livid. I was 30. Ain't nobody think I was. I went to church, and if you think somebody's a Christian because they go to church, that is not enough. That's not really good. That's not enough.
Because if I'm being honest, I really truly found God in the Word. Like, I went to church, but it wasn't until I got into the Word that I really found Him for myself. But that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, so truly put God first, and like we said, walk it like you talk it, live it out, and let people see your light, and let there be something different about you than non-believers.
Let what He's doing in the inside of you show on the outside.
That's good.
Bless me, bless me, bless me, God in Jesus.